My name is Faro, and I'm a certified Pro 90 speech coach, and I've been serving as a speech coach for the last 1.5 years. So I'm someone who actually had a big struggle with my speech, always forcing out words, finding it hard to say stuff, being anxious around situations, what we are going to speak in this session. So I had all of these issues, and I had all of these issues at the topmost level. Like my stuttering was pretty much severe. So, but then the Pro 90 speech system actually helped me to get from that place up to this place where I'm able to say whatever I want, whenever I want, and in the way that I want. And after I actually changed my speech after I transformed my speech, and I started working as a Pro 90 speech coach. And since then, I have been working with clients all over the world, helping them with their speech. So I have clients from Asia, from Europe, from all over the world. And it is a really, really enjoyable experience to work with those clients and to help them achieve that smooth and excellent speech. Something that I always wanted to do, something that I always wanted as a part of me, because while I was working on my speech, I made sort of a promise to myself that once I get out of it, once I get out of my speech struggles, I would make sure that no one else has to face these speech struggles. So that was always my goal. And that goal kept me motivated. That goal just kept me going on. And that is why I was working on my speech. In fact, that was one of the main reasons which made me work on my speech. That is, first, I wanted to develop my speech and take it towards the next level, and then I wanted to work in this field. That goal just kept driving me and kept me working on my speech on an everyday basis. So that was something that I always had in mind, and that is something that I'm doing these days. In the session, it's going to be a very, very interesting, very, very informative session. So I would really like for you guys to hang in up till the end, because we are going to give some information that we might not have provided in the previous sessions. So I want you guys to hang up and make notes if you can, because if you start to do these things, then all the speech anxieties can start to take care of itself. And you know what? When the speech anxieties would start to take care of itself, where would your speech go? How would your speech look like? Just ask yourself, if you were no longer worried about speech and speaking, if you were no longer anxious about speech and speaking, how would your speech look? All right, how would your speech look like? Just ask yourself, and then I want you to sit in this session and make notes. So at the start, I want to just mention one thing, that look back at your speaking situations and see how you speak when you are anxious about them, and how you speak when you're not anxious about speaking. So you would have find various times that when you're not anxious about speech, you're not anxious about speaking, you're not worried in a sense, your speech generally goes very well. You're able to speak very smooth. But in the situations where you're worried about them, where you're anxious about them, where you're anticipating a lot, that is where your speech starts to go down. So what is the reason? Why are you able to speak well when you're not anxious most of the times, and why you're not able to speak well when you're anxious most of the times? Why does that happen? So that means that there is something going on with your mindset. It's not just about the way that you speak. It's not only about your speech. A lot goes on with your mindset. I've been working with various clients all over the world, and what I have found from my own experience and with the experience of working with so many clients, that speech and speaking, like stuttering, stammering, speech, and everything, it's 75% of it is mental, and the rest is physical. So by mental, I mean how you look at yourself as a speaker, how you perceive yourself as a speaker, how you look at different speaking situations, how you perceive different speaking situations, what sort of beliefs you have around speech and speaking. So everything goes in with your mindset. And then there is the physical aspect of speaking, that is the way that you speak. So many systems fail because they're just focused on the physical aspect and they're not working on the mental aspect, which I found just accounts for 75%, and that's a lot. It really accounts for 75% or more of your speech problems. All right. So that means that there is something going on with your mindset when you're not anxious. Now, if we could give you a way in this session where you can find a way to deal with these anxieties, to deal with these speech anxieties, it means that your speech would really start progressing towards the right path. It means that your speech would really start moving upwards. But in order for that to happen, you don't just have to listen to this webinar. You have to then go out and do all of the things that I'm teaching in this session. All right, and not do them once, not do them twice. You have to do them over and over again until they become a habit and until you overall become quite cool, calm, and relaxed. All right, so that is something which is really, really important. All right, so without any further ado, we are going to move straight into the first point, and then I'm going to move point by point. Somebody wrote that, is this chat working? Yes, this chat is working. And in between, guys have to ask me whatever you want. You can always write down in the chat box. You can make any sort of comments, or you can ask certain questions. We would be moving towards most of the questions towards the end, but I'm also going to make sure that if there is something which I need to address right at the moment, so I'll go ahead and do so. Just before that, I'll be sharing some link with you guys, especially if someone is new and they don't know me at all. So here are some links. These include my YouTube channel. These include my free training videos on extending and blending the free flow speech. And these include my main coaching page. So I'm just sharing these links with you guys, and I would also be sending these out to you in on your emails, but just in case. All right. And also, we also have some very, very special offers for working one on one with me. But all of that is something that we will be moving on towards the end, towards the last part of the session. All right, so without any further ado, let's dive straight into the main topic. So, what are the steps that you need to take in order to help your or in order to help yourself become a more cool, calm, and relaxed speaker, and how to make that anxiety go away? How to make that anxiety start taking care of itself. So, we are going to be starting from some very, very basic things, and then we are going to move forward. So, the first point, believe it or not, it's just what you say to yourself. What you say to yourself about how you feel. So, most of the times, if you notice, you often say thoughts to yourself that I am a very, very anxious person. I'm always anxious around speaking situations. I don't know why, I'm always worried about them. I always anticipate, I'm always worried. I'm a very, very anxious person as a whole. I know why people say that. I know why you say that. I used to say it without realizing that what we say has a big impact on us. Although those things might be true, but saying them to yourself isn't helpful at all. So you have to start saying things to yourself that are helpful, that start moving you towards that right direction. And what is that? Instead of saying I'm a very anxious person, instead of saying I'm always worried about speech and speaking situations, start adding some affirmations. Start saying things like, I am a very, very relaxed person. I always feel relaxed no matter what. I have a very, very relaxed personality. I'm extremely relaxed in every speaking situation. I enjoy my speech. I enjoy speaking situations. I look forward for them. The people just perceive me as an extremely relaxed, cool, and calm person. I'm a very relaxed, cool, and calm person. I'm a very relaxed speaker. I'm a very easy speaker. Now, when you start to say these things to yourself at the start, your mind would say no. You're not a very relaxed speaker. You're always worried. You're this, you're that. Whatever your mind says, Just keep saying these things to yourself. And obviously, you're not just doing these affirmations, you would also be doing the rest of the stuff that we are going to speak about in this session. But this is almost the first step, and this is something which is very, very important. Because what we say to ourselves, once we keep saying those things over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, they form a belief system. So if you keep saying things to yourself that I'm always anxious, I'm a very anxious person, I'm always worried, believe it or not, it would actually become your belief system. And when you go into any speaking situation without even realizing, you would start to become anxious because of that belief system. But once you change that program, it's just like program. Our mind works on program. Whatever you say to it, it believes it over time. And then it starts functioning in this way. But you don't just have to say it once. You don't just have to say it twice. You have to keep saying these things to yourself over and over again. I enjoy speaking situations. I'm always relaxed. I'm always relaxed. Just make some statements, memorize them, and keep saying them to yourself with some emotion. Not just, I'm a very relaxed person, I'm a very relaxed person, I'm a very. You have to say it with emotion. I'm a very relaxed person. I'm always at ease. All right. So start saying these things to yourself so that you start changing your mindset in that way. And while doing the affirmations, you can say, I am a very relaxed person, or you can speak to yourself and say, hey, you're a very, very relaxed, cool, and calm person. Speak to yourself. You're a very, very relaxed, cool, and calm person. You're relaxed in every speaking situation. You're relaxed in every single situation. All right. So many of the researchers out there have shown that when you use the word you for yourself, it has more of an impact. So that is something which is very helpful to know. So change what you're saying to yourself. When do I want you to do these affirmations? First of all, I want you to do these affirmations after you wake up in the morning and just before you go to sleep. Now, these are not the only times, but these are somewhat the most important times where I want you to do these affirmations, because once you wake up and just before you're going to sleep, those are the times where your mind is the most, where your mind is in the most relaxed state, most alpha state. So these affirmations are able to sink in quite well. For the rest of the day, you're doing a lot of stuff, you have a lot of stuff going on in your mind. So these affirmations might not be able to sink in quite well, but you still have to do it. But try to do that, especially once you wake up, just after you wake up, and just before you go to sleep. So these things are really going to sink into your mind. And also try to keep saying these affirmations all day long. Yeah. And just try to keep saying these affirmations all day long. In the morning, in the afternoon, at night, in the evening, because the more you say that, the more you say all of these affirmations, the more it would form your belief system. So that was the first step. Affirmations, very important. Now, moving towards the second point, the second and third point, they are very much related in a sense, and that goes on with the idea of visualizations and verbalizations. So what happens when you have a speaking situation, let's say the next day, next week, next month? Maybe you have a one on one conversation, maybe you have a presentation, maybe you have an interview, maybe you have to do some sort of a stand up. Whatever that is, what happens is that our mind starts to visualize it. Our mind is, your modeling is perfect. All right, I'm not modeling right now, but maybe that's just the speaking style that I've learned. All right, thank you. So what happens is that your mind always goes ahead and starts to anticipate situations, whatever they might be. But right here, we are specifically speaking about speech and speaking. So what happens is that if you have an interview or a presentation or whatever the speaking situation is, as I said, the next day, the next week, the next month, your mind would start to anticipate it, and your mind would start to visualize it. Your mind would start to visualize yourself in that speaking situation, and your mind would start to visualize how that speaking situation would look like, what sort of people would be there, how you would be speaking, how the people would be looking at you. You start to visualize all of that. All right. So that happens in every single situation. But so far, the way we visualize is not helpful to us. So far, the way we have visualized is not helpful for us. If you notice, our mind always goes ahead and visualizes ourselves getting stuck. It visualizes ourselves having a hard time speaking, getting stuck, forcing out words, not knowing what you have to say, stumbling upon words, speaking fast. Your mind starts to visualize that. I know why that happens. That happens because of your past experiences. But in order to change those future experiences, what you have to do is that you start visualizing those speaking situations going in the that you want them to. So always visualize speaking situations, but visualize them in the way that you want them, how you want them to go. When you go out there, you want yourself to be cool, calm, and relaxed. You want yourself to be speaking slow. You want yourself to be speaking smooth. You want the people to be listening to your speech and having a smile on their face and enjoying your speech. You want to be speaking with a rhythm. So start visualizing all of that. Start visualizing yourself feeling extremely cool, calm, and relaxed. Start visualizing yourself speaking well, speaking very smoothly. Start visualizing the people enjoying your speech to all the people to whom you're speaking. Start to visualize that. Now, just as with the affirmations, visualizations might be really, really hard at the start. Because whenever you start to visualize that speaking situation in the way you want it to go, at the start it might be really hard because you have very low or no successful speaking experiences for that speaking situation. But either way, start visualizing yourself speaking well. And especially right here, we are speaking about feeling cool, calm, and relaxed. Visualize yourself feeling the way how you want to feel. Visualize yourself speaking the way how you want to speak, using your hands, having a smile on your face, having those facial expressions, extending and blending your words, speaking smooth, speaking with inflections, moving around, looking at the people nodding at your speech. Start visualizing all of that. And don't just visualize to visualize, visualize with some emotion. Visualize that speaking situation as if that speaking situation is happening right now. So what might happen to you is that the moment you start visualizing, you might start to feel your hands a bit sweaty. You might start to feel a bit anxious because you might feel that you are in that speaking situation right now. And that is how I want you to feel. Feel that you're in that speaking situation and then visualize yourself speaking the way how you want to speak, feeling the way how you want to feel. All right. So when you visualize a speaking situation, what's the major advantage? The major advantage is that when you go out in that exact speaking situation, your mind would say, we have been into a situation like this before, just because of you having visualized, and guess what? We spoke well. So that means that we are going to speak well in this speaking situation as well. It becomes a lot easier. It becomes really, really easy when you start to do that. That is something which is really, 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 really important to your progress. Start visualizing every speaking situation. And you don't just have to visualize formal speech or formal speaking situations like presentations, stand ups, or interviews. Those situations are very important to visualize, but those are not the only ones. What I used to do is that each day after waking up, I used to visualize my whole day speaking the way how I wanted to speak. That is, visualizing myself speaking with my mom, visualizing myself speaking with my dad, visualizing myself speaking with my sister, with my friends, with my family at work, and speaking the way how I wanted to speak. And I always used to visualize myself feeling quite cool, calm, and relaxed, breathing, slowing down, using my hands, moving around, speaking as if I'm enjoying my speech. And when I used to go out there in those speaking situations, everything used to change just because of me having visualized. So don't underestimate this. This is something which is very, very important. Go out there and search it on the web. almost everyone visualizes. The people at the top of their fields visualize. Let it be some athletes, sportsmen, singers. They visualize themselves. They visualize themselves performing the way how they want to perform, and that has a big impact on their actual performance. So I want you to go out there and search for it. All right. One thing that I want you to add on is that just as you start visualizing, start off with a 777 breathing exercise. So I'm just going to explain to you what it is, but just start off with some breathing exercises so that you are into a very cool, calm, and relaxed state. Because in that state, you would be able to visualize much better. It's just like, or it's a form of meditation. You can say that. But right here, you're visualizing a future speaking situation. Now, the 7-7 breathing exercise is simply breathing into a count of 7, holding your breath to a count of 7, and then releasing your breath at a count of 7. There are two main advantages to it. The first is that it helps you develop a great amount of control over your speech, and the second, over your over your breathing, in fact. And the second advantage is that it makes you feel a lot more cool, calm, and relaxed, and that is what we want, because once you do this exercise, it would be very easy to visualize. So start off with a 777 breathing exercise, and how it looks like, I'm just going to show it to you right here. Breathe into a count of 7, hold your breath to a count of 7, and then release to a count of 7. If you guys are here, I want you to do it with me right now. Let's go ahead. Breathe in. All right. So once you do this exercise, people feel a lot more relaxed, and you don't just have to do it once. You can do maybe 3 or 4 of them just before you start visualizing, and then go into the visualization session. And as you come out of the visualization session, you can once again do some 777s, and then move out of them. So what goes ahead with visualization is the idea of verbalization as well. So when I speak to my clients, many people say that it's hard for us to visualize. When we try to visualize, it's not that easy. So you can also verbalize your way to visualize. What do I mean by that? Instead of explaining, let me just show you an example. Right now, I can see myself going into the meeting room. I can feel a bit of anxiety, but I'm also feeling very excited for this speaking situation. I can see myself moving into the meeting room. I can see myself shaking hands with all of the people, and it's almost my turn to start speaking. And here I go. I have the mic in my hand, and here I get started speaking. So I'm starting off in a very slow, cool, calm, and relaxed rhythm, and I can see that I'm slowly starting to develop a rhythm and flow into my speech. I can visualize that I'm using my hands, I'm using facial expressions, I'm having a smile on my face because I'm really enjoying my speech. I can see that I'm starting to move around. I can see that I'm looking at people, and I can see that the people are really enjoying my speech. I can look at the people's faces, and I can see that they are having a real fun time looking at me. And here I'm speaking, I'm inflecting, I'm extending and blending. Wow, this is the best that I've ever seen myself speaking. I'm speaking so well. And I can see myself feeling very cool, calm, and relaxed. So as I finish off with my session, I can see the people just coming up to me, shaking hands and saying, "Man, your presentation was the best. You are the best speaker in this room. We love your speech. We love the way how you speak." All right. When I was verbalizing that, did you started to visualize? I'm sure many of you must have. So that is the advantage to it. Verbalization helps you visualize. So you can verbalize and or visualize. But always visualize and verbalize your speaking situations going in the way how you want them to go. Feeling the way how you want to feel, acting the way how you want to act, speaking the way how you want to speak. Because when you would be going into those exact speaking situations, after having visualized and verbalized, you would see that your speaking situations would be there towards the next level. You would start to feel a lot more of ease and control, and you would start to speak really well. And this would not only come with one practice, like one session of visualization or verbalization. It comes with a lot of practice. Keep doing that over and over again. After you wake up, do some 777s, then do some affirmations, then visualize your whole day, like just anticipating that this day I would be speaking to him, her, and just visualize and or verbalize those speaking situations going exactly the way how you want them to. Let it be a one-on-one conversation, informal, or let it be formal conversations with a group. Let it be friends, let's say a one some sort of a presentation, an interview, whatever it is. Visualize it and or verbalize it. So I was also speaking about the 777 breathing exercise. This is not just something that I want you to do before you visualize. This is also something that I want you to keep doing all day long. Like do three or four of them in the morning, then some in the afternoon, some in the evening, some at night. Just keep doing them all day long. Just keep doing them over and over again, because I just explained the main advantage to it. When you do these exercises, you feel a lot more in control. You're a lot more cool, calm, and relaxed. And when you're a lot more cool, calm, and relaxed, it's much easier to speak. So speaking becomes so keep doing the exercise that I just explained over. All right, so I'm just trying to see some comments right here. You guys can go ahead and keep writing whatever your comments or anything is. I agree on the acting part. When you act how you want, model your speaker, you tend to become fluent. This has been my experience. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You speak extremely well. Okay, thank you. I have set alarms on my phone to remind myself to do the exercises, visualizing, and affirmations. Wow, that is great. I also want you to set alarms for the rest of what I'm going to speak about. So good. All right. I have fluent for over a year, sliding back into old stuttering habits, how to speak slowly. All right, so this is something that I'm going to be moving on towards the end. So I want you guys to stay up till the end, because then I would be answering one-on-one questions. All right, so hold it up, and I'll just be moving on. All right. So the next thing is that we spoke about the affirmations, visualizations, verbalizations, and the 777 breathing exercise. Now, what comes with all of it is that now you are actually good. Now, what you're actually doing is that you're actually going into a speaking situation. Let's say you're going into an interview, you're going into some sort of a presentation or anything, and now you're feeling a bit anxious. What are some of the things that I want you to do? Self talk plays a major role. And the specific self talk that I want you to do, that might sound weird, that you might not have heard before, but this is something that has a big role to play. Whenever you feel anxious, instead of saying you're anxious, say that you're excited. Once again, whenever you start feeling anxious, especially around speaking situations, say that you're excited about it. Anxiety and excitement are almost the same emotions. Anxiety gets you down, excitement builds you up. So reframe that anxiety into excitement. So many people start to worry about the fact that why do I get anxious? Why do I have that feeling? I want you to let I want you to have in your mind that anxiety is something which is very natural, and it is built in so that we can get ourselves prepared for an upcoming situation. And right here we are mostly speaking about speaking situations. So, but what we start to do is that we start to get worried about that anxiety, and that anxiety starts to hinder our speech. So, the first aspect is reframing that. That is part of the self talk. Whenever you're feeling anxious, say that you're excited. And then use that excitement to speak the way how you want to speak. Once again, reframe that anxiety into excitement. Say that you're excited about those speaking situations, and then use that excitement while you start speaking. When you get started speaking, use that excitement to use more facial expressions. Use that excitement to use more of your hands. Use that excitement to use your new speaking style. Use that excitement to use your body language. Now, use that energy. That energy is built into us naturally, but we have to find a way of using it in the way that is helpful. We have a very helpful thing that we have been using in a very, very negative way. Now, what I want you to start doing is that I want you to start reframing that, and then I want you to use that excitement into your speech every time you go out to speak. So, always have this in your mind. This is a major, major part of the self talk. So, now whenever your mind starts to say you're anxious, say that you're excited. And also say that you're going to use that excitement to use your body language, facial expressions, and speaking the way exactly how you want to speak. Using your new speaking style, more inflections, extending and blending, modeling, whatever you need. Use that energy. And the reason why I say that it is very, very natural, because if there was no anxiety, excitement, then speech would sound very, very boring. So, for example, what if I was speaking to you guys like this? So, my speech would sound very boring, right? So, excitement is built in naturally, anxiety. No, excitement, yes. Excitement is built naturally, and now we have to start using it in a very, very effective and positive way. All right, so I hope that whenever you guys go into any speaking situations, instead of saying you're anxious, you would reframe that into excitement and then use that excitement to your advantage. All right, very, very important. Very, 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 very important. And there are also some rest of the things that goes on with self-talk. That is always reminding yourself to relax, always reminding yourself to slow down, and all right, one more question that we have. Once again, try to hold it up. I would be moving on towards them towards the end. Try to keep writing them in the whole session, so that towards the end I can move on towards questions for you. All right. So the next point that I was moving on towards is that self-talk has of the part built. You keep reminding yourself, relax and slow. You keep saying to yourself, hey, listen, relax, slow down. Let's take it easy. Let's be easy on it. Relax, slow down. Speaking about relaxing and slowing down, one of the most important things, even if you don't take any other thing from this session, take this one thing. Take this one thing, and that is the idea of relaxing and slowing down. Ask yourself, when are you the most anxious in speaking situations? In presentations, interviews, meetings, when are you the most anxious? At the start, right? And you know that if you can find a way to start off well, the rest of the speaking situation generally goes very, very well. So it's mostly about the idea of starting off in the way how you want to start. So that what I want you to start doing is that I want you to start off super slow, not even slow. I want you to start super slow, because what happens is that many of us have built a habit of speaking extremely fast. So even if I ask you to go slow, even if I ask you to speak slow, your speech would still end up towards the faster side. So that is the reason that I'm asking you to focus on speaking super slow. What do I mean by speaking super slow? Let me show you an example. For example, I'm just starting off a session. I would like starting off like this to get myself into a flow. All right, so it's really, really great to see everybody right here, and I'm very thankful and I'm very, very grateful for everyone joining. And in this meeting, there would be four important points that I would like to discuss. And of those 4 points, The first point would be the most important, and the rest of the points would be some sort of a continuation of the first point. So the first point is that we have to speak about. So you see how I'm starting off slow, super slowing down my speech, and then I'm making myself get into a flow with my speech. So that is very important. In order to get yourself into that flow, you need to start off super slow. Because if you start off fast, you might start to get stuck, you might start to become anxious, and then your speech would start spiraling down and down and down and down. Instead, start off super slow. This starts to change everything. This is very, very important. Even if it is a one on one conversation and you're feeling anxious, start off slow. Not anxious, excited. Start off slow because that starts to change the whole thing. And by going slow, I don't mean just speaking slow. Start to breathe. Breathe slowly. Speak slowly. Move your hands. If you are standing up and speaking, move around. Move slow. So slow down everything, especially at the start. Because if you can get yourself into a good amount of flow, then you can really start to develop that flow, then you can start extending and blending and keep flowing with your speech. But it's really, really important to get into that flow at the start, and slowing down is something that is going to help you out a lot. As I said, if you don't take anything else from this webinar, although you should take everything, but this is something that I really want you to do. This is the most important out of all of them. Start off super slow, not even slow. As I said, start off super slow. Because if I ask you to speak slow, so for example, you're used to speaking really fast, so you are on one extreme right now. So even if I ask you to speak slow, which is somewhere in between super slow and fast, your speech might still end up towards the faster side. But if I go on towards the next extreme, speaking super slow, your speech would end up somewhere on the slower side. Make sense? Start off super slow and then see how your speech goes. All right? All right, so I can see some more comments coming in, and just keep writing more and more of them, and I'll be speaking about them in a bit. So, start off super slow. Once again, we have spoken about the affirmations, self talk, visualization, verbalization, reframing the anxiety into excitement, and starting off super slow. All right, the next point, it's a law. I also want you to go ahead and search onto the web after the session, not right now. And that is the idea of acting the way, acting your way into feeling. Acting your way into feeling. What do I mean by that? Even if you're feeling the most anxious, excited, even if you're feeling the most anxious in this world, ask yourself, how would I act if I was relaxed right now? All right, I'm not relaxed right now, but let's say I was relaxed. If I was relaxed, how do I think I would act? All right, if I was relaxed, maybe I would be breathing more, I would be smiling more, I would be moving around more, I would be using my hands more, I would be speaking slow, I would be extending and bending my words, I would be enjoying my speech. So even if I'm not relaxed right now, but if I was relaxed, I would be doing all of those things. Start to do all of those things, right? From the inside, you're feeling anxious. From the outside, act as if you're the most relaxed person in this room. Act relaxed. Even if you're not feeling relaxed, act relaxed. Now, why do I want you to act relaxed? What I said at the start, acting your way into feeling. Once you act relaxed, after a few moments, you would find that you would also start feeling relaxed, because how you act has a big impact on the way how you feel. So, how you act would impact your feelings as well. So, in some moments, you would also start to feel relaxed. So, that is very, very important. Even if you're not feeling relaxed, act relaxed. Start to ask yourself, how would I be acting right now if I was relaxed? And then act in that way. All right? Acting your way into feeling. Last but not the least, model. Even if you don't focus on anything else, ask yourself, if my speech model was here right now, if my speaking model was here right now, how would he feel? Would he be feeling anxious? Or would he be feeling quite cool, calm, and relaxed? And would he be just enjoying his speech? Then you start to feel that. So, this is not a session on modeling. So, I'll not be explaining modeling in full detail because that's a lot. Let me just give some brief information about it. Modeling is where you select someone as a speaker whom you really like the way they speak, whom you really admire the way they speak, and you feel like if you could speak like them, that would bring about better speaking. So you select someone as your speech model, then you keep observing them more and more. You keep watching their videos, you keep listening to their audios, and you keep doing all of these things over and over, over and over, over and over. Observational learning. Then you start to practice speaking like your model when you're by yourself. Or all right, so if my model was here, how would I speak? If I had to say this like my model, how would I say that? And for the modeling practice, you can also model your model's video. So, for example, you select a video of your model, you say the same words as your model is saying in that video, and you try to say that in that exact same. You try to feel like you're your model right now, and then you speak. So, you can practice the modeling like this, and you can also practice modeling informally. That is, you just select something to speak about of your own, and you ask yourself, if my model was here, how would he speak? All right. So I want to speak about some of my meetings for the next day. I want to speak about how my day went or what are some of my plans for the next week, and let me speak like my model. So then you keep practicing that. Then the most important thing, you go out there and you speak like your model. Whenever you go out to speak, you ask yourself, how would my model speak right now? How would my model act right now? How would my model feel right now? So you act as if you're in the shoes of your model. And that also changes the whole game. Because that is in fact the foundation of the prone entity speech system, and that has a big role. That has a big role to play. So start modeling more and more. Many of us, if not all of us, model Mr. Michael because he uses all of the speaking skills that he trains inside the course. Then you have a lot of his videos and audios, and then we can model. The end goal of modeling is not to speak like someone, but you're just using their speech in order to fasten your progress to smooth and excellent speech. But this comes with a whole lot of practice. You keep observing more and more, you keep practicing more and more, then you keep going out there and using your modeling style more. With that comes obviously feeling like your model. You ask yourself, all right, I'm not feeling relaxed, but how would my model feel if he was here right now? Let's say if it is Michael, how would Michael feel if he was here right now? He would be feeling quite cool, calm, and relaxed. He would be breathing more. All right, let me start to do that. How would he be acting right now? So he would be using his hands. He would be breathing more. He would be slowing down his speech. He would be enjoying it. He would be extending and blending. Let me start to do that. How would he be acting? So you start to ask yourself, how would he act? How would he speak? And how would he feel? And you start to do all of that so that you can feel like him. Modeling acts as a positive distractor away from I hope I don't get stuck towards how would my model speak, how would my model act, how would my model feel. So this is also very important. Asking yourself how would I act if I was very relaxed right now, or how would my model act? All right. So these are some of the things that I wanted to speak about. Just give me some seconds. I'll be back in a bit. And in the meantime, you guys can keep writing your questions and comments, and I'll be moving on towards them right now. All right. So keep writing them, and I'm also going to do a brief review of everything that we talked about just towards that. Now, I would mostly be moving on towards some sort of questions that anyone might have. And just before that, I'll be doing a bit of a review, and then I'll also be sharing some links with you guys. So just before that, I would like to share some links, and then we would be going ahead. So as I said, I struggled with my speech myself, and so I have my own experience and the experience of working with so many clients all over the world. So if someone is looking to get a one-on-one hold of me, if someone is looking to work with me one-on-one, that we have then we have some very special offers for you guys, and I'm also be leaving some discount links that you guys can look up for, and we have some very, very special pricing options for you guys. And in the meantime, just keep writing your questions and comments like you have, and I'll be moving towards most of them in a bit. So we have the option of 6 coaching sessions with me. We have the options of 12 coaching sessions with me. So this includes 6 coaching sessions, 6 half an hour coaching sessions plus 1 hour orientation session, and uh, the 12 sessions include 12 sessions, half an hour, and then a 1 hour orientation session. So if someone is looking up for that, so I'll be sharing the links for that. We have some very, very special prices for that. Just give me a bit. And while I do that, while I look for the links, just I'll try to brief out what we talked about in this session. So we spoke about how you can start to get rid of their anxiety, how you can really start to eliminate that speech anxiety, and we spoke about how you can start doing more sort of affirmations, letting yourself know that you're a very relaxed, cool, and calm person. First thing. Then the second thing is that you start to do more and more of the affirmations, more and more of the self talk. Keep speaking to yourself. You keep reframing that anxiety into excitement. You always keep reminding yourself to relax and slow down in every speaking situation. Then you go out more, then you go out to speak more, and then you do all of the things that we spoke about. That is, whenever you get started speaking, start off super slow, slow down everything, your movements, your speech, the way that you're speaking. Try to slow down everything and try to get yourself into a smooth, cool, and calm rhythm as you speak. Because once you get yourself right there, it would be very easy to flow with your speech. Also, start to do a lot of the visualizations and verbalizations with the self talk and with these affirmations. And while you're speaking somewhere, even if you're not feeling very relaxed, just act relaxed, and that would change the way, if you will, how you feel. So that has a big role to play. Then do a lot of modeling, because it's a lot easier to focus on your model and to make yourself feel like it. But it only happens if you're doing all of the practices and everything. So, as I said, here are the links. First of all, we are giving some special discounts. So, the first link that I'm sharing is the link for six coaching sessions with me, and the next link that I'm going to be sharing is going to be for the 12 coaching sessions with me. So we are actually offering the 6 coaching sessions at 600 USD, and we are offering the 12 coaching sessions at 997 USD. So that is something which we are only offering as a discount for the people who are in this webinar or who are watching the main recording of the session. And it is only valid for 72 hours from now. And after 72 hours, the price for the 6 sessions would go up to 700, and the price for the 12 sessions would go up to 1197. So if you're looking to sign up, now is the very, very best time, because that would really help you to get the coaching at a very, very discounted price. So it's just 600. The 6 sessions are just at 600. My normal pricing is 1200 USD, but for the last 2 months we are offering some discounts, and that is the reason we are offering this 50% discount. And here it is. It's 600 USD, and the 12 sessions, they are at 997 USD. And as I said, after 72 hours, the 6 sessions would go up to 700, and the 12 sessions would go up to 1197. Although those prices would still be discounted, but if you want to sign up, you can sign up now and save some extra money as well. If you're still not sure about whether you want to work with the coaching or not, you can also book your free one-on-one speech assessment session with me. And this is where we can speak about your specific situation, and we can see if coaching is the best fit for you, and we can give you the prices for the coaching. So if you're still not sure about it, you still want to ask some questions about it, you can do so by scheduling a session with me. So all of the links that I'm sharing, I want you guys to save those links somewhere so that you have these links with yourself. And within 1 day or so, I'll also be sharing these links on your email together with the webinar recording. So even if anybody missed some part of the recording, you don't have to worry about that because you would be getting the recording as well. And you can also ask me anything on my email address about the webinar or about something regarding the one-on-one speech coaching. And here is my email address as well. That is actually how we would be going about stuff. Let's now move on towards some of the questions that we had. And in the meantime, I want you guys to save these links so that you can always have them with you whenever you want. Once again, for the next 72 hours, we have these prices available. And after these hours, the price for the 6 sessions would go up from 600 to 700, which would still be discounted, obviously. And the price for the 12 sessions would go from 997 to 1197. That's still discounted. But if you sign up within these 72 hours, you can get these special webinar discounts. All right. So, the first question. All right. So, I have been fluent for over a year since I went through the self taught program. However, I have been sliding back into my old stuttering habits. How does one prevent sliding back after a long time of fluency? I'm going through the program again. I find that my current stress levels are making me stutter. All right, so this happens with most of the people when they are working on their own, and the reason for that is when you're working on your own, at the start, you're very excited about working on your speech. Here, I'm working on my speech, I will work on it, I will do this, I will do that. But it does not happen with everyone. But what happens with some of the people is that after some time, life gets in the way, work gets in the way, and they stop doing the work on their speech, or they don't work on their speech as much as they should. And that is where your speech starts sliding. So, the one thing is being consistent. So if you leave off the speech practices and everything before it becomes automatic, then you might start to slip off. Not up to the level where you were at the start, the speech might start to slip off a bit. So you can only leave off the work on your speech once your new speaking style is automatic. Once you know that it's happening on its own. Even if I don't focus on using my new speaking style, I'm still using my new speaking style. So that is where you feel like it's automatic. Then you can stop the work. Like right now, the way that I'm speaking, it is happening automatically because once you keep doing something over and over again subconsciously, or once you keep doing something over and over again very consciously, it ultimately gets into your subconscious. It becomes a habit. But you have to keep the work going until it becomes a habit. And how you would know once it has become automatic, you would just realize it, that your new speaking style, you're being able to use it on your own. So the one-on-one coaching helps you with that because with the one-on-one coaching, you get more sort of accountability. When you know that I have to speak with a coach, that in itself makes you work on this. So that makes you reach where you want much, much faster. We have seen that the people who are working with the coaching, like with Michael or with myself, they often reach to where they want at least times faster. So they where they would have reached in let's say 1 year or 2 years by themselves, they can work with us and reach there in a period of around 90 days or less. That is the major advantage. So you get more sort of accountability, you get laser focused feedback. Sometimes when you're working on your own, you don't know what to work on. So you have extending, you have blending, you have the inflections, you have modeling, you have the visualization, you have the verbalization, the affirmations, the pausing, and the list goes on and on. But when you are there with a coach has his own experience and the experience of working with so many clients that he can just pinpoint at you and let you know that this is what you need to do. This is the most important for this is the most important thing for you to focus on right now. So he makes you laser focused. All right, now we have worked on this. Let's move on towards this. Now let's move on towards this. So when you work on your speech like that, your overall progress becomes much easier and you reach where you want much faster. So you get more accountability, laser focused feedback, you get more sort of, because when people are working on their own, even if they have a bad speaking experience, they feel like, oh, it's not working for me, maybe this system is not for me, maybe I'm unique, this or that, but they're not realizing that it takes time. You have been speaking in that old way for such a long time, so you have to give it some time. You have to give some time for your new speaking style to become automatic. So focus more on the successes. So a coach helps you stay focused on the positive. He keeps you more encouraged. That makes you keep working on your speech. That makes you consistent with your speech progress. So I don't know what's happening with the video right now. So I hope it's fine. So as I said, more laser focused feedback, more accountability, encouragement, and all of that makes you reach where you want much faster. But try to be, even if you're working on your own, try to be more consistent with your speech practices. Keep doing everything what is inside the system and keep focusing on the things that you think, if you're not working with a coach, is the most important thing for you, and then keep moving your way upwards and keep the work going until that becomes automatic. Don't stop working on your speech. Working on your speech is just like working on your physique. If you go up to the gym 1 day a week, the rest of the days you're not doing anything at all, you would not see any changes or much changes in your physique. But if you're working on your physique every single day, even if it's for 5 to 6 minutes, that is where you're going to see the change. So it's very important how much you do each day, but what's even more important is that you do each day. So make sure that you keep working on your speech every single day. Make your speech your priority and keep the work going on every single day. So I hope that made sense. All right, what can we do when we anticipate certain words that we have had challenges with in the past? My brain says you blocked on that word last time. Watch out, you're going to say this word again, and inevitably I block on that. All right, first thing, don't use the word block. Don't use the word block. Don't use the word stuttering. Don't use the word stammer. Even if you want to say something like that, say that sometimes maybe I get stuck. Because once you are saying that I block, I stutter, I stammer, you are associating yourselves with stammer, with blocking. And that becomes your belief system. So that has a big role to play. When you say that sometimes I might get stuck, so you would know that everyone in this world gets stuck. Literally everyone in this world gets stuck. Your friends, your family. It's just that the rest of the people don't realize it. They don't focus on it. That is why they are not very much aware of it. But it happens with everyone. So once you know that it happens with everyone, so just saying getting stuck does not have a big impact. First thing. So stop saying blocking, stuttering, snapping. Then the skill that I want you to use is linking your words. It's free flow speech. All right. And in order to know more about free flow speech, because that is going to be a lot to explain right now, I shared some links at the start. And if you go up on the chat, I shared the link to the free training video. So I have a video on extending and blending. That is the most viewed video on my YouTube channel. So you can watch that. You can also watch the free training video, and I've also shared the link to that. So you're going to learn about that a lot. So especially start working on free flow speaking, linking your words, blending your words, airflow. All right. Start linking more of your words. The more you link your words, the easier it is for you to flow with your speech, and the easier it becomes for you to speak. All right. And try to focus on how you can get yourself to more, how you can get yourself in towards the modeling zone. And free flow speaking can, in fact, help you with that. Many people, when they are linking their words, when they are extending and blending their words, they start to feel like model. So once you're airflow linking, once you're modeling, your whole anticipation starts to go. And now now you've shifted your focus on towards your new speakers. So getting stuck, it's mostly about anticipation. You would have find many times that you're speaking in a flow and you say some words and then you look back and say, how was I really able to say those words? Those words were really hard to say. How was I able to say those words? Has that ever happened to you? Right? That happens because at that time you were not anticipating. So it goes around with anticipation. If you can find a way to stop anticipating, to stop worrying, then the whole game starts to change. But don't focus on not anticipating. Focus on something that would replace that anticipation. Like focus on free flow speaking, focus on modeling, focus on using your new speaking style. The more you do that, those anticipations will start to take care of themselves. Once those anticipations go away, that worry will start to go away. Once that worry goes away, then guess what? You would get stuck less and less, and that getting stuck part would also start to go away. So especially work on that. Go onto my YouTube channel, watch the videos on modeling and free flow speaking, and especially on free flow speaking, watch the free training video. That is going to be extremely helpful for you. All right. So I hope that answered your question to some extent. I find that blending my words and slowing down eliminates my blocks. However, modeling alone literally eliminates just about 90 of my stutter because I picture, once again, don't use the word stutter. When you speak about yourself, don't say that when I do the modeling, I don't stutter. Say that when I do the modeling, I speak smoothly. Start shifting your focus from stuttering, stammering towards speaking smoothly. Even when people speak well, they say, I was modeling and I was not stuttering. That is not what I want you to say because in that way you still somehow focus on stuttering. I want you to get the focus out of that right now. You're a smooth speaker. Let's shift your focus towards speaking smoothly. Whenever I model, I speak smooth. I have a great time speaking. All right? So change the way you say that to yourself because what we say has a big impact on us. All right? However, modeling alone just eliminates about 90% of the stutter because I picture myself as my model. This leads to belief that stutter is a built up neurological habit. In most cases, modeling allowed me to get work as a video producer at one of the biggest video production. Oh, that is really great. Companies in Africa. I'm very happy to hear that. Due to articulating myself well in my interview, I even recently worked as a TV director on an upcoming Netflix show. Oh wow, that is really great. So the point is that just keep going out there more, just keep taking advantage of these speaking situations, and always keep using your new speaking style. Always keep using your new speaking style. Always keep modeling. The more you do that in a very short period of time, you won't even need to do it. For example, right now, I don't model. I don't focus on modeling because I modeled Michael for such a long period of time that I built up my own speaking style out of this. So modeling helps you reach where you want much faster. So maybe you're on one mountain right now, you want to move on towards the next mountain. So one way is to go down one mountain and move up the second mountain. That is where you work on everything else. But if you work on modeling and all of the rest of the stuff, but if you also start to model, modeling acts as a bridge between those two mountains and it can help you reach where you want much faster. It's not very easy at start, but as you keep doing more of it, it becomes a lot easier, it becomes a lot more enjoyable, and it makes your speech a lot more smoother and a lot more enjoyable. So I'm very happy to hear that. Just keep going on and keep making us proud. Would you recommend, if I'm able to afford, that I take the one-on-one program? I truly believe I would benefit and master the program fully if I take the one-on-one coaching courses because I would have someone to speak to and practice. I would also have accountability. Yes, as I said, that is something that can really fasten up your progress to smooth speech because you get more accountability, more feedback, more encouragement, and that makes the whole process quite easy. Do one thing for me, leave your email address right here, and even if you're not to do so, you would have my email address, and I'll share that again. And after the session, just reach out to me on my email address. I also want you to leave yours if you can. Also, at these points, we are offering some very special prices. So if you're looking for the coaching now, might be the best time. If you're not sure of it, you can book a one-on-one session with me. That if you really would want to go for the coaching, I've also shared the links for that. So once again, try to save these links. Although within a day, I'll also be sending out these links. But if someone wants to sign up now or book a session now, so save these links with you guys. All right, so I'm very interested to getting the book Never Stutter Again. Is it possible to get it through your website or from another site? Never Stutter Again. All right, so we have your email addresses. What I would do is that I would ask Mr. Michael to send out that book to your email addresses. All right, so I have your email addresses because all of you signed up for the session. So I'll make sure to send out the link on that. If I'm not able to do so for some reason, just remind me on my email address that I've just shared in the chat box. I heard about neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire your brain. Absolutely. How effective is this for someone who stutters a lot, and how long will it take? See, the Pro 90 speech system is built for everyone, no matter what your speaking point is right now. No audio? Uh, are you able to hear me? Are you guys able to hear me right now? Somebody wrote no audio, I think. Yeah, you guys can hear. Good, good. All right. So yes, no matter whatever your starting point is, if you do the work, if you do the consistent amount of work, there is absolutely nothing that cannot make you reach your speech goals. There is absolutely no reason why you would not reach your speech goals. And we are not only here to help you not stutter, we are here to help you become excellent and amazing speakers. I was literally someone that I could not even say a single word at times. And I'm speaking like this right now. So can you. Now the people start to see me as even an above average speaker. So maybe you're right here right now, and the rest of the people are right here. So the Pro 90D speed system helps you get here. The Pro 90D speed system helps you get even above the average person. So we are not helping you get up to those average levels like the average people. We are helping you become excellent and amazing speakers. So stuttering, stammering, everything is the best thing that has ever happened to me because that made me work on my speech. Maybe I would never have worked on my speech if I had not stuttered, if I had not stammered, and I would not have been speaking like this to you guys. So I'm very happy that it happened to me, and I'm very happy that it happened to you all as well. So please don't feel weird about it, because what I'm trying to say is that life has given you an excellent opportunity to work on your speech and become an excellent and amazing speaker that you might not have become otherwise. All right, and it's based on rewiring your brain. So here we are not focused on trying to remove the old pattern, because that is not helpful. The more you keep trying to focus on not stammering, not stuttering and everything, the more of that would happen. But if you shift your focus towards becoming an excellent and amazing speaker, that is, instead of trying to remove the old habit, you're building up a new habit. So once you build up that new habit, that old habit would take care of itself. And how would you build up that new habit? By using your new speaking style, by doing everything inside the course over and over, over and over, over and over again, until it becomes a habit, until your brain rewires itself to speak smooth. And that is where the new speaking style would be programmed into your subconscious. Our brain is neuroplastic. It keeps rewiring, it keeps changing. So habits can be replaced. Habits are there to be replaced. Stuttering, stammering, everything, it's just a habit, and you can absolutely replace it with something that you might not have had in your mind ever. You can replace it with an excellent way of speaking, which is even much above the average person. All right. So good, good, good. What else do we have? Uh, I'm happy that the people are asking a lot of stuff, because that is what I want. I want people to be involved more in these sessions. In speech therapy, I learned about prolongation. However, prolongation is a slight contact in articulation. Example: if I say a vowel sound, I would not completely put my tongue against my upper side. I would barely touch the upper gum ridge and mid ear so that the D is more of a Z. Alright, is the prolongation technique the same as extending? I find when I immerse myself in modeling, I can easily articulate words starting with DI without using prolongation. PS, I have never had a problem with words starting with DI. This problem with it since the last 3 weeks. See, once again, stop saying that I'm having an issue with these words. Because if you keep saying that, then even if you're not having issues, you will start to build up issues. One thing. Second thing is, yes, extending is the same as prolongation. See, extending is something that I would be showing to you right now. So if I'm speaking like this, right here, what I'm doing is that I'm extending more of my words. So extending helps me to get in a more relaxed, cool and calm state. Extending helps me to get a lot more under control of my speech. Extending helps me to speak slow and super slow, like we spoke about. So especially at the start, try extending your words out a lot because that would really help you to slow down. And that is exactly what I was doing when I was showing you an example. All right, so welcome everybody to this session. I'm elongating the words. I'm elongating the words. Instead of saying elongating, I'm saying I'm elongating the words. I'm prolongating the words. When I say extending, I'm not speaking about dragging. When I say extending, I'm not speaking about dragging your speech like this and putting people to sleep. That is dragging. That is not what we are wanting you to do. We want you to extend. And if you're speaking like this, that is where you would start to extend more of your words, and that is where you would start to develop a great amount of control, and that is where your speech would start to sound really, really smooth. You would learn a lot more about that in my training video and also on my YouTube channel. And once again, this pro-entity speech system is not about working on any specific words. It's actually about working on your speech as a whole. When you work on your speech as a whole, these words and everything take care of themselves. If you're having some issues with some words, you can always extend out those words more. You can always link those words more. Instead of saying that word by itself, always try to use some extra words and link that word with the previous words. For example, I have a problem saying now, there is a lot more that I had to say on this, but since we have a very short time, if you want to know more information on this, you can just check out my training video. But just a very brief information on this. If I want to say, so we are actually towards the end of this session, and I am feeling like I might get stuck on the word session. So we are towards the end of this, and then we would stop, and then we would force out that. That is not what I want. Don't stop just before that word. Link that word with the words previous to it. So now we are moving towards the end of our session. Now we are moving towards the end of our session. Now we are moving towards the end of our session. End of our session. So I'm not saying end of our and then I'm getting stuck. I'm just linking it. End of our session. It sounds like it's one long word. End of our session. End of our session. End of our session. So the words that you have a hard time saying, almost never say those words by themselves. Always try to link them with the words previous. So that would really, really help you out a lot. For example, a word with di, let's say word such as a word such as dignity, maybe. So let's say that if I feel like I might get stuck on that word, so I have to say the word and I might get stuck on the word and now I can't say the word. But if I'm linking, I want to say that word and now I'm saying the word dignity. Now I'm saying the word dignity. Now I'm saying the word dignity. So I'm not saying I'm saying the word and then I'm saying the word dignity. I'm saying the word dignity. Once you keep doing that over and over again, once your mind keeps seeing you speaking smoothly, ultimately stops focusing on those words. And when it stops focusing, you don't even have to focus on linking or something. You would be able to say those words smoothly, even by not blending or by not modeling or whatever it is. But in order for that to happen, in order for you to reach that automatic stage, you have to keep doing the things that we spoke about over and over again consciously until it gets into your subconscious mind. So we are almost near the end of our session. We went 17 minutes longer. If there are some extra questions, you can also ask me on my email address. But let's see what we have. How long should we practice it continuously to make it automatic? Like just a rough idea. The main reason why Michael named it the prone entity speech system, it was 90 minutes for 90 days. If you keep doing 90 minutes, that includes modeling, that includes free flow speaking, That includes listening to the audios and videos, affirmations, visualizations, and everything. If you keep doing that for 1.5 hours for 90 days, it takes almost 90 days for it to start becoming automatic. And then within a very short period of time, within around 90 days to 4 months, like within around 3 to 4 months, it becomes automatic if you are consistent. But if you're not, it would take you long. And what can help you be more consistent is also the one-on-one coaching. So if you're looking forward for that, I've also shared the discount links for that. And I've also shared if someone wants to book a one-on-one free session with me so that we can speak about if coaching is a good fit for you, and we can speak about some other stuff about the coaching, any questions that you might have. All right. Uh, yes, it's fine now. One thing I love about Pro Entity that is not just about becoming a fluent speaker, but it focuses on making you an excellent speaker. Exactly what I was speaking about. And in fact, the name of my YouTube channel is Stammering to Excellent Speech. So that is what you become when you work on your speech. Pro Entity has taught me to be a more persuasive speaker, resulting in me closing client deals in meetings. Absolutely, I don't just want to be a fluent speaker, I want to be an excellent speaker since I'm a businessman. So, yes, when I say, like, when I was working on my speech, and when someone used to ask me, like, what you are doing, and I used to say, I'm working on my speech, so they had a very weird look on their face. What is working on your speech? So, people don't work on their speech, but life has given us an amazing opportunity for us to work on our speech because of us having stuttered and stammered. And that is the reason why many people become excellent speakers, because the speaking skills that you learn inside the system, it's not to help you not get stuck, it's to help you become an excellent and amazing speaker. Now these are the speaking skills that excellent and amazing speakers use: extending, blending, inflecting, pausing, articulating, finishing, breathing, and everything. So if you start to do all of that, it takes you on the journey to becoming an excellent speaker. And guess what? Once you do that, stuttering, stammering takes care of itself. But if you keep trying to get rid of stammering, I'm sorry, but you would keep trying to get rid of it all your life, because that's not the solution. For example, if I ask you right now to not focus on a red car, don't have the picture of a red car in your brain right now. Don't have it in your mind right now. What is happening? You're having that image in your mind. So our mind works like that. In all mental workings, effort defeats itself. So the more you try not to focus on something, you are actually focusing on that thing when you let yourself know that I don't want to focus on it. Stuttering, stammering goes in that way. The more you focus on trying to remove it, our mind says, what is stuttering? What is stammering? And then it actually shows you what it is. So stop trying to focus on trying to get rid of it. Start focusing on becoming a smooth, amazing, and excellent speaker, and let the stuttering, stammering, and everything take care of itself. All right. All right, so I hope I answered most of the questions. I'm very, very happy for all of you joining this session. So make notes. I hope you made notes. You can also make notes while watching the meeting recording. Give me one day or so. I'll be trying to send you over all of the recordings and all of the links and everything. And I also want you guys to save all of these links, all of the coaching links and everything, so that you guys can do whatever you want with these links. If someone wants to sign up or book a session or visit my YouTube channel, visit my coaching page, you guys can do that. And for the next 72 hours, we have these special offers. If you're looking for the coaching, now is absolutely the best time. So I hope you guys had fun. Just towards the end, I'll be sharing those links again. Like, I'll just be copying those links again just before we wrap up, and then I'll be ending this session so that no one misses this session. So here are all of the YouTube channels and the free training videos and the coaching pages and everything. And after that, that is the discount link, this webinar discount link for 6 coaching sessions plus one orientation session with me. And then there is the link for 12 coaching sessions plus one orientation session with me. Once again, this is a discount link. And if someone wants to first book a free assessment session with me to know more about the coaching before they sign up, so that is also something that you can do. And here is the link for booking that session. And for any other questions, visit my email address and ask me questions right there. Coaching about this webinar or whatever you do. All right, so I'm just leaving these links up for some time so that you guys can save it. Once again, I had an excellent session because you guys were really, really involved. You were asking me stuff, and that is where I enjoy most of my sessions. So we mostly do these sessions every 14 days or so. So I look forward to seeing you in more of these sessions, and I look forward to seeing you inside the Pro 90 speed system. And most importantly, I look forward to seeing you, maybe if someone is willing to work one on one with me, so that I can help you reach your speed goals much, much faster. So if there is nothing else that anyone wants to discuss, I'll just be wrapping up the session. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys had something to learn. And my confidence has increased just because of this webinar alone. I'm so glad to hear this. Confidence is very important in order to speak fluently based on my own experience. Absolutely. And I'm very glad that this webinar was really, really helpful for me. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Save these links up and I'll be sending these over again. You're welcome and hope to see you inside the system. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care. May you be blessed.